If you think you can, you can. And if you think you can't, you're right. Henry Ford. My friends, you can. 10 to 15 minutes each and every day. That is all we ask on your road to greatness. This is a down day for everything in the market. We'll start first with the S&P 500. As you look at the chart, you can see this week you have reached a higher high throughout the course of the week. Small candle, not a lot of volume, just one more day left. We look here at the Wednesday, Thursday, and we can see a real shave off here. We look down at the half day, you can see it really happened strong at the end of the day on Thursday. Things had pushed up, really pushing up to one of its most recent highs. I guess that might have been the high of highs here recently for last Thursday, the 16th in the morning. Things scattered along. Yeah, they went up a little bit higher. Actually, they popped up even higher this morning. And then, of course, crashed over in the afternoon. And we have a doji here, and that is finished drawing. Don't have a lot of volume. We're not all the way up to average volume there, but it is important to pay attention to. We've really blown off a lot of the steam on this 2-day chart and a lot off the half day. We'll see how Friday goes. Friday could buck things back up, and we could, of course, see this volume increase. Don't know that it is going to have enough room to get up to average or even close, but we'll see. We'll see what Friday looks like. Could go gangbusters. We are still long. We look at where we are on the Qs. Qs look better. They pulled back in the afternoon some too after really moving up in the morning. And of course, you've got a nice green up candle on the 2-day and the weekly. And of course, as we've talked all along, our turnover was much better. Had a decent spinning top. That's always what we look for in a turnover after an interim low, which we had back on the 15th. Next week, when another down candle, but didn't go to a lower low, still had decent volume. And then on that week beginning 29th of April, the green spinning top, the telltale sign with the average or higher volume, and things shot off from there. Just what we were looking for. Of course, we are on this one, and we are still long, but we are paying attention to what happened at the end of the day on Thursday. Now, bonds, we've told you for several weeks now, we've been ambivalent on this. We didn't have any kind of trigger. We had a doji with higher than average volume. We did not have average even volume at the interim low. So there was no jumping into this trade. It did go up for 2 weeks. This week, not reaching the high of last week, down for the day, 0.64%. 2 dojis. Lots of indecision on our 2-day chart, so we are paying attention to that. And maybe things will roll over, things will set up nicely. We can do a down trade, perhaps. We'll see. Now let's look at where gold is. Gold down again today. 2 big down days in gold. We spoke about that green spinning top. Look at the wick that has now appeared. Of course, we've got a wick on the 2-day also. It's penetrated that weekly trend line. And we see where in the morning on Thursday, it pushed through, the candle did, and then in the afternoon started on the line and ended, of course, through. So gold down right at 2%. Let's check out where GDX, that is the gold miners, what are they doing? Again, yep, they're moving down strong too. I always like to sort of compare gold with the gold miners to see what's really going on. And of course, they are pulling back strong too. So telling us a lot about gold. We'll see how gold wraps up the week. And if you're in that trade, of course, what you might want to consider doing. Okay, now let's move from gold to Bitcoin. Bitcoin on HODL, that's the Bitcoin ETF. It's one of several. And of course, they all track pretty much the same. Here is IBIT. You can see they look identical because they're tracking Bitcoin in, of course, the market, not on the 24-hour day Bitcoin like we see with something like this chart. There we go. This chart from Bitstamp It's a 24-hour-a-day Bitcoin chart. Looks a little different. And again, we're trading off HODL or IBIT or any of those ETFs. Why? Because they're ETFs. You don't have to put your money in an exchange, some kind of Bitcoin exchange that may or may not run into problems. Now, again, you can have problems with anything, but if I'm going to have problems, I want to have it through a stock exchange that at least is regulated in the United States. Now, not perfect in any way. Those of us who've been around a while, we saw the craziness happen back in the banking crisis. We saw the dot-com bubble and bust. We've seen all sorts of complete insanity, housing crash, all that. We've seen the crazy stuff that happens, but it's nothing like Sam Bankman-Fried being in charge of FCX? Anyway, don't even remember it now. Remember his name. Thank goodness I didn't have any money in his exchange. So anyway, let's look at where we are on Bitcoin, pulling back strong in the morning and in the afternoon. Still have a green up candle here. So we will continue to follow and see where this leads us. We do finally have, you can see the little horizontal line there. We're finally starting to get volume now that we have 20 weeks worth of candles. And remember, we have our volume set at 20. So you have to have at least 20 candles, whether it's 20 weekly candles as it is here, or 20 two-day candles, or 20 half-day candles. Once you get that number 20, you start getting an average volume, which we are using, and you can see we're way below average. So we're paying attention to Bitcoin, seeing if it's going to gain some more strength or where it will go as, and again, still, nice higher high than last week. Shaved some off the two-day candle, down for the day-to-day. Doesn't mean Bitcoin is down and out, though. That is where we are. By the way, I will be publishing I'll be sending an email out for our Patreon members, our weekly vertical crossovers. We have 18 for you. We have 5 up, 13 down. And we also have charting cryptos, commodities, and currencies. We'll be sending that out, releasing that tomorrow to the general public, and three-wave trades exclusive to our Patreon members. All of those will be in the emails. And don't forget, everything we talk about for Patreon members is always put up at the Patreon page. The minute it gets done, pretty much, we get it up there for you. Friends, thank you so much for being with us. Hope you've had a great week trading. Have one more day of practice trading, and that you continue to learn, enjoy yourself, and stay motivated. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.